Much, Carol. That's very kind of you. And I'm hoping that I can get you all to not have your cameras off, so I can see your faces. And if you're willing, I'd like to, see you. And I'm kind of interested in how you're teaching yourselves and whether you're all seeing your students or whether you're allowed to not see them. And that will help me understand as we talk about how to run a structured academic controversy online. So I'd love to, if you wouldn't mind just sort of introducing yourselves and tell me a little bit about what you're doing as a teacher online and what you hope that we're going to get out of this session. Because in my school, all the kids are always visible. That's the rule, unless they are, they've talked to the teacher individually and they have some particular reason for not showing themselves. And they're all 100% on computers. I guess that will be true for most of you too. And we have been doing that since March. And so I'm pretty comfortable with this world, but I just don't know what, and my class sizes are about 18 kids. So that's generally the size that I'm talking about. So I'm curious sort of what kind of sizes of classes you're talking about and what your standards are in the classroom. So I'm just gonna call you in order of where I see you on my screen. So I see Kyla first. So Kyla, can you tell us a little bit about you and your background here?
Sure. I'm Lake Washington School District and I teach middle school. I might see 5 students with their cameras on within a day of teaching 3 classes per day.
Wow.
Yeah, it's one of those things that didn't start out that badly, but it soon quickly became the thing to do. And we do not demand or pressure our kids to turn on their cameras. I do get responses. I do get kids talking and raising their hands and participating in the chat, but I do not get consistent camera usage.
Got it. Thanks. How about you, Amanda?
Okay, making sure I'm the only Amanda. I am in the Snohomish School District at Glacier Peak High School. Yeah. So ours very similar. I have 3 classes a day. I don't get a lot. I teach AP regular and I have Spanish. I teach a Spanish class as well. So I kind of have every spectrum and I get more participation like video with my AP kids.
Yeah.
Because they're more motivated.
Yeah.
But my regular US history and my Spanish is, we don't require video at all. They've talked about changing it, but I don't think they will. We tend to be a little behind the times in that kind of thing in Snohomish, not in a bad way, but just the way we are. But yeah, chat has been my biggest friend on Zoom. Okay. So yeah, now that they don't turn on their videos, like chat is my best friend.
Chat is where you see them. Yeah, fair enough. How about you, Carrie?
Yes. Yep.
Hi, everybody. I didn't get a chance to test my audio. Can you hear me? It's sometimes weird. Okay, thanks. So same thing. I'm at Edmonds Woodway. Can echo what has already been said. I have a regular US class and I have some IB classes. And so the difference between who turns their camera on is notable. At least my IB kids, if I ask them to, they usually will. My other classes tend to not. So yeah, trying to rely on chat. And again, the district is saying you can encourage cameras, but there's no requirement. And as I'm sure you all know, it's really hard to talk to a screen.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Carrie. How about you? Carl, is that how you say your name, or Carol?
There, Carol.
Thank you, Carol.
That's okay. My mom was Finnish, or is Finnish. So
got it.
Why the weird spelling? I'm from Valley View Middle School in the Snohomish School District. And so, yay, we feed into Glacier Peak.
Oh, wow.
I teach Washington State Studies, and it's a year-long class. And then I do the honors ELA for 7th grade. We're seeing what the other middle school teacher said. Probably a third of the kids now are off camera.
Okay.
A quarter to a third. It started with almost everyone on camera, but it's been slipping, and it's hard to teach when you have no screen, no one on screen. So yeah, I totally get it. And for me, it doesn't really matter if it's my honors kids or my gen ed. It doesn't matter. It's kind of the same.
All right.
There was another question you had that I can't think of right now.
That's good. That's good. I'm
That's
just
good.
sort of trying to figure out how much.
Yeah. Oh, we have
Yeah.
33 in classes.
33.
So about
Good.
double what you have.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm hoping all of these that the structured academic controversy in an online format will get your kids more engaged and the other and more likely to turn their computers on because they'll be talking to each other. So, and I want to get to that, and I also want to know what everybody else has here. So I wonder if I can encourage you to kind of just say like what level you're teaching and how much you're seeing kids. The other thing I didn't ask is if you're allowed to use breakout rooms. Bradley was telling me he's not allowed to do that. So this is going to depend on using breakout rooms. So that's those three things. If we could just get through that, that'd be amazing. So Joel, how about you?
Hi, my name is Joel Martin. I teach 8th grade U.S. history at Mountainside Middle School, Spokane, Washington. Well, we're not like you guys. I'm in the high flex model.
We're about to go there, Joel.
I've got kids in front of me and I've got kids virtually at the very same time.
Yeah.
Can you do that effectively? No, you can't.
Oh dear.
You can't. I have.
Can you use breakout rooms?
There's no way to do a breakout room because.
Well, you've actually got 2 breakout rooms, right? You've got the people in front of you.
Kind of, because I average about 3 to 4 kids on Zoom, and then the other kids are all in front of me.
That's okay. This could definitely work for that, for sure.
But you see, when you have them on audio, the feedback is so awful.
Yeah.
And I can't have them like in the hallways or anything like that.
Right. Right.
So, like I said, I'm trying to do 2 things at once, and then of course, you get teaching, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh, there's a kid that has a comment,
right,
or oh, that kid fell out of Zoom, or,
right. Oh gosh.
And I see 15 a day, so that I have group A, group B. I have 2 true days of instruction. That's it.
Okay. Well, hopefully this will help you. How about you, Etta?
I am teaching 6th grade social studies in Renton. So
how big are your classes?
I've got roughly about 30 kids in every class.
And can you do breakout rooms?
Yes, I do. I do it daily.
Great. Okay.
They're pretty good about it. I've trained them.
Yeah.
In breakout rooms.
Perfect.
Yeah.
How about you, Sue? We are muted, I'm afraid.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Sue Metzler. I teach at Mariner High School. I teach juniors and seniors. I have 33 kids per class. I had 37 in second period until yesterday when I got that straightened out. But
wow.
I use breakout rooms. I've also had extremely high success using a thing called Pear Deck. I've had really high success in getting kids better than in the chat room with that. And I do use breakout rooms. And I just, I have to say this from my teacher heart, I fully support the individual choice of my students to turn their camera on or not. I have some students who are supervising their younger siblings during our learning time. I have students whose only access to internet is in their car. I have students who are in cabanas. We have an LMS called Schoology that allows individual video submissions. And that has been absolutely fabulous. And my students have been willing to share with me then. And the backgrounds are not something that if I was a teenager, I would want to be sharing. So I fully support the ability to mute. Most of them have little profile pictures, which is fun. And yeah, but I came to this session because we're starting law on Monday, and I'm really curious about how we could use SAC remotely.
Yeah, good. All right. Paula, how about you?
Hi, I'm Paula Patterson. I teach at St. Louise in Bellevue. It's a pre-K through 8th grade Catholic elementary school. I was completely online with 32 kids teaching social studies, ELA, and religion. And now we just started this week at a hybrid model. So we've got half in the classroom, half at home, and then they flip flop. And so, yes, I could do breakout rooms. We use Microsoft Teams, but trying to do both things at once or all things at once is a huge challenge.
A lot.
And I just gave them an assignment to learn about the Electoral College this week. So this would be great to take that.
Perfect. Great. Okay. How about you, Matt?
Hi, I'm Matt Gamblin. I teach at Battleground High School, so 9 through 12. By title, primarily my civics is street law, so seniors primarily, although I have a sprinkling of juniors every year. We don't mandate the video for a couple of reasons, like Sue mentioned, one of them for sure. Also bandwidth issues. I'm going to turn mine off here at home because bandwidth issues can be a challenge, so I'd rather be able to at least hear. The chat is very popular, but it is tough for me at least because of the multitasking side of things. This year, I'm actually a math teacher, a business teacher, and next semester I'll be a social studies teacher. One thing, and I forget who mentioned it, so my apologies, you talked about the AP students that are obviously involved, and I know that's the case as well in my school. However, one of the math classes I teach is a below level class. And so we've got freshmen that are taking half of algebra in 1 year. And by far, that is my most engaged class, from not who's on Zoom, like the numbers, but the ones that are on Zoom are pretty engaged. More engaged than my student store class, where they all truly wanted to be in the class, despite the teacher. Nonetheless, I've used breakout rooms at varied success. I agree. I think it was Etta talked about training, teaching them how to use it and do it. I've just found that to be a challenge, personally, at least right now. Nonetheless, the ones that are on, some of them are engaged. I don't really give them a choice because I call on them, and I gently call them out if they're not. But, you know, like I said, it can be bandwidth issues, can have trouble. And of course, the devices that they're using that are district issued can be challenges. So, you know, okay, your mic doesn't work. Okay, you know, next person, can you help them out?
Yeah. Thank you, Matt. And thank the rest of you who shared. I'm going to stop asking for everybody because I'm afraid it's going to take the full 45 minutes. I think we all have so much we want to share about what we're doing. And I encourage you all after this session that I think this room will stay open if you want to sort of talk more about issues that you have or share high flex stories with each other or middle school stories with each other. I want to sort of dive into how I've used SAC online just so you get a sense of it. And I'm about to go into HighFlex, so I'm thinking about how to use this in HighFlex as well. So forgive me, those of you I didn't hear from, but I think I'm just going to proceed. I have put in the chat, and I'll put it in again, a link to the document that I'm about to post here because it has some links that you'll want. What I'm proposing to do today is sort of tell you about the kind of in general what I do. And then specifically let's just do it. Let's just try it, see how it feels to you so you can get an experience of it from the student's point of view. And then I'll go back and talk through all the ways that I've thought about making it work for my students and for me and what the behind the scenes things are that I was doing, okay? So as you know, the question we're gonna address here is whether the Electoral College should be abolished. And Matt, the content from this comes from Street Law. So Street Law has an association with an international group who has some deliberations that have been tested internationally. And I taught on the Global Online Academy, which had students internationally, and I've used some of these before. It's all free content online. You don't have to buy a textbook or anything like that. So the content we're going to use here comes from Street Law, and you'll get there's a connection to that in the online stuff from the Washington State Council for the Social Studies. So we're going to just do it. Are you ready? So the first thing, what I'm going to do is I'm going to split everybody into two rooms, just completely randomly. You can, if you want to do it more intentionally, obviously you can do that. I've had trouble kind of pre-splitting rooms with Zoom. It's very difficult to make that work. So I'm often just doing this randomly. although if you give them the assignment to read first, that gives you some time to set up those breakout rooms. And so that's what I would do is I would have everybody say which or that everybody would have know which reading they're going to do. Either you'd give the reading to them for homework, or you would tell them at the beginning of class, have them read. So when I ask kids to do this, I just say, turn off your screens and just read. So I'm going to create this breakout room right now, and I'll tell you which one you're going to do, just so you know. So we're going to have Amanda, Carrie, Kristen, Christina, Etta, Heather, Joanna, Carol, Kate, Kyla, Paula, and Stephanie. You're all going to do reading 1, okay? And then Anna, Anthony, Bradley, Carol, David, Joel, Matt, Stephen, Sue, Tara. You guys are going to be doing, you'll be in room 2, so you'll do the reading in room 2. It's very short reading. If you've already connected to the PowerPoint and clicked on it, you should see it. And I'm also connecting you to this worksheet. So can you let me know, are you able to see those things? Carol, I see you raising your hand. I can't hear you, Carol. Still can't hear you. There
Now,
you go.
you have, my question is, you have 2 Carols, one with a C and one with a K.
Oh,
And
sorry. Carol with a K is in room 1 and Carol with a C is in 2.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, good. It looks like people can see them. So I'm going to put you in this breakout room. Your assignment is read, collect evidence for your side of the worksheet in the left-hand column of the worksheet. Okay. You're going to come up with reasons. And of course, you're going to find reasons in the reading, and also you might come up with some other reasons of your own. Room 1, you people are talking about, yes, we should abolish the Electoral College. Room 2, you're going to be talking about, no, we should not abolish the Electoral College. Don't worry about the side you've been assigned. The point here is to learn about both sides. So start with the side you've been given. All right. So everybody ready? I'm going to open up the breakout rooms and off you go, do the reading. I'll give you about 5 minutes in this room, and then I'll call us all back together again and tell you what happens next. Okay? There you go. Hi there.
Hi, Mary Ann. I had to invite you in. I did not, when I clicked, I didn't get the reading.
Let me send it to you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay, back to mute.
there you go. All right, so presumably you have sort of the idea of this here. And so maybe talk to each other about what you think the best arguments are and start filling out your worksheet, because you're going to be working in pairs to defend this argument to the other side. And so you want to sort of strategize about that. And you can strategize about it with yourselves. And while you're doing that, I'm going to be making you into pairs, okay?
So,
different documents, not being able to see them at the same time. Yeah. And then going back to your Zoom.
Hey guys, so I'm actually not going to take you back to the other room. I'm going to just break you up into pairs right now, and I'm going to move you into a room with two people on the other side. Okay? So you're just going to have to be, you're going to have to be ready to go. No, maybe I won't do. That's what I would do with my kids. I would have told them. But actually what I'm going to do now is make the breakout rooms, and then I'm going to take you all back into the main room. That's what I'm going to do. All right, never mind. So that's what's going to happen. I'm going to take you. Are you about ready to go in the main room? By the way, I didn't even ask you that. Sue? Anybody? Yeah, Anthony?
Yeah.
I may have missed a couple parts here, but was there something else we needed to do aside from the reading about the no? Was there, because I just read through it, obviously. But.
Right. What you want to
Okay.
do now is to strategize about the best arguments for the no side, so that when you're in a room with somebody else and you're arguing the no side, then you have those arguments ready to go.
Okay.
Okay. And so just so you know, what I've done here is I have myself signed in two different places, so I can see both rooms and what's happening in both rooms at the same time. It's kind of a neat little trick for if you only have two breakout rooms and you have two things. So the other room is talking right now, but I've muted myself and turned off my camera in that room. And now I'm just talking to you. So I can easily go between them instead of being called from one to the other and doing that sort of thing. So I'm going to set up while you guys finish strategizing, I'm going to set up the breakout rooms for the structured academic controversy. Then I'll bring you all back and explain it, and then I'll put you in those rooms. Okay? So do a little more strategizing about what you're going to say to make your side of the argument. Yes? Okay.
I mean, so if we jump right into building our argument, I think the strongest side of the argument is that in order to abolish the Electoral College, it would need to require 3/4 of, it would be a full amendment to the Constitution, which is a difficult process. I think that if we were to go into an alternative, the NPVIC might be the best alternative if they were looking to it. That might be a good way of coming to a compromise. That's just my thinking. Other people?
Yeah, I also had down that it protects the rural areas and prevents a concentration of only high density urban areas from being heard.
And along with what Sue said, what goes with that is the views and what's important to those areas tend to be different.
Different.
I think also that we should mention that this seems to be sort of a partisan issue. Obviously, one side would like this more than the other side would.
But then we could bring up the point that in Washington State, we have 3 whole districts who don't.
And I'm just going to talk you through now what I have planned here. Sorry, I got to leave this room in my other phone. So I think the idea of having the two screens is I just wanted to show you what that looks like so you can see that you can do 2 screens. But Carrie, you said you've had trouble doing that because it logs you out of the other one. All right. Well, sorry about that. I don't have other people had any success putting themselves on 2 screens. Yeah. Other Carol, what happens when you do it?
It works. You just have to make sure you turn the sound off.
Can't hear you.
Whoops, hold on here. For some reason, hold on. Let me see.
I can hear Carol.
Still can't hear you.
Yeah, I should be. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
You guys hear her?
Yeah, everyone else can hear
weird.
me.
I can't hear her.
Weird. I don't know. Okay, I'll just tell everyone.
Welcome to Zoom where everything is terrible.
0 issues with it. You just have to you have to mute one of your, turn the sound off. You have to turn the sound off on one of your screens. Otherwise, that's disastrous. But yeah, I'll keep one going so I can see what the kids are doing. So I'll use it just to go, okay, did my screen pop up the way I wanted to? Because I'm having issues with, because I have a Surface, a Microsoft Surface laptop, and it pops every time we go to a breakout room, I have to go find it every time. So yeah, I like to see, what are they seeing? I'll run Nearpod as student version on my other laptop, and then I have the teacher version on my working laptop. It helps.
All right, great, thank you.
I see Darren Renta here. That's my other cousin.
That's hilarious.
I know. Oh, he left.
He was here a little while ago.
Oh, there he is. Hi, Darren.
All in the family.
All in the family. My sister said, oh, the nerds are at the conference. She's another teacher.
That wasn't nice.
No, that was not nice.
All right. So I'm making you into, hopefully I'm putting you in the rooms that will allow you to talk to people who have the other side of the argument. I'm just, I made a mistake, as often happens in these situations. I did not make enough rooms at the beginning so that I could be working on them while you guys were in that room. So let's hope that that this will solve that problem. I remade them. Nope, now I can't find some of the people who were here before, sorry. Okay, so I'm just going to take a stab at this and see what we've got in the rooms that we have. Hopefully the breakout rooms will work.
So do you guys have problems with kids getting kicked off all the time? Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got to let them back in and keep track of what room they're in. That's a good reason to actually pre-assign the rooms rather than doing them randomly like we did today.
So our district is recommending that we lock our rooms now.
Lock the breakout rooms or lock the room?
Lock the main room.
What does that mean?
That means if a kid got kicked out, they wouldn't be able to get back in.
Oh.
Well, we've not been asked to do that. That sounds like a bad idea.
Well, they recommended it because we had a lot of Zoom bomb issues where people would come in that we were unaware of.
Even recently, Amanda?
Not me personally, but yeah, we had one in my school this past week.
Wow, because that sort of stopped for us after the first round of rooms being bombed.
Yeah, we kind of had like a period where we had nothing, and then at the high school level at mine, and then the other high school in our district, we had a couple incidents. So they're recommending it, but I don't know if they can force us to do it.
All right.
I have my kids rename themselves because I always have pre-assigned breakout rooms, and I've given them their numbers. I always have them rename themselves, like 1 Anthony, 1 Mary, 2 Stephen, 2 Carol.
That's a great idea, Etta.
Put them into their, and then if they pop out, you don't have to think, oh, what breakout room they're in. They come back in, and it's easier to get it back in.
Oh, that's amazing. And you could do that. Why, I don't know why I didn't think of that. Thank you, Etta. You've just made this even easier.
I usually have the kids work on a poll. I give them a fun poll that they have to answer as in their breakout rooms. So they're focused on that. So there's no dead time. So.
All right. So now I'm going to just let you go in and do the structured academic controversy part of it. And this is the process for the structured academic controversy in case you don't know it. The yes pair will go first in structured academic controversy in case either people who don't know it. So I'm happy to explain it if people don't know how to do it, but if you do, I won't explain it. So raise your hand if you're not sure what I'm talking about when I say structured academic controversy. All right, I'll do a quick intro of it then. What you want to do here is you're encouraging students to take a side that they've just read about, so they have all the information on it, and they present that information in 2 minutes to the other side. And you encourage both sides to, both people in the pair to speak. That's why one reason that you have a pair is you give students who are less talkative in class, you give them sort of a safe space where they've got another person with them that has the same stuff to talk about. And in a real classroom, you can actually hear if they're speaking or not, and give a reminder of everyone while the structured academic controversy is happening to speak up. In a breakout room, if that's happening, you can pop into that breakout room and encourage everyone to speak up. So both people in the pair present their side of the argument while the other pair listens and takes notes on the right-hand side of that worksheet that I gave you. Okay, so in this case, the yes people would go first and the no people will listen and take notes. Okay, after that 2 minutes is over, then the no people tell the yes people what they heard. So it's not a debate, it is sort of like, this is what I heard you say experience. And the yes people listen and they say, yeah, that's what I said, or they say no and they correct if it isn't quite what they said, but it's not an argument, it's a listening to learn kind of experience, okay? And then the no side has 2 minutes to give their point of view, and the yes side listens, takes notes on the right side of the worksheet. And after the 2 minutes are passed for the no side, the yes side tells the no side what they heard, and the no side clarifies or corrects if they got it wrong. So that's in all that's like 6 minutes, right? Generally in a Zoom room, I will give a little padding for that. And what I will do is send a message to the breakout room saying 2 minutes is up, time for the no team to say what they heard. And so I send those messages into the breakout rooms at every 2 minutes, 1 minute mark, 2 minute, 1 minute mark, so that they're moving along, hopefully. And I'm popping into the breakout rooms to see what's happening. And then when they finish, they talk about it and they try to come to a consensus about what they think based on the information that they've just learned. So that's a format of a structured academic controversy in the simplest form. And so I'm going to encourage you to do that, but let me just talk through one other way of thinking about it, which is the way that street law talks about it. This is an additional way to do it, is that first the yes people go and the no people tell what they heard, and then the no people go and the yes people tell what they heard, and then they switch. So you can see they reverse positions. And this thing that I've taken a screenshot here comes from Street Law's website. So when you go to the website and you'll see this is sort of the description of what they suggest you do. And they have a different kind of graphic organizer than the one I've given you. So you have another alternative as well. So kids can sort of say, these are the reasons to support the question and the line number that it comes from. So you're giving them practice in using the text. And you probably noticed in the reading there are line numbers, sort of saying where in the text it came from. And then when they reverse it, they, instead of telling the other side what they heard, because they already did that, you state the best reason from the other side, and then build on that. So that's the suggestion Street Law has for doing it. And you want in a Zoom room context, I'm not sure I would go this far, but I haven't experimented with it. Maybe some of you have. But you want to get them to the place where they are at the end of the conversation. They're talking about what you think, and you want to make sure to leave 10 minutes at least at the end for them to come back and talk about what they think, so that everybody can now try and come to a consensus. But the key part of talking about what you think is, if you can't come to a consensus, tell us why. So that allows people to disagree with each other and to say what it is that's the sticking point in the argument. Okay, so that's what we're hoping that you'll do in the next 5 minutes in the breakout room. But you know what, it's like we only have 7 minutes left. So I wonder if rather than doing that, people want to sort of talk about this process and the fears they have about it, or the positives they see, rather than going into the breakout rooms.
Marianne,
So-
there was a question about process
Great.
in the chat. So when you give out the master copy like that, would you encourage each student to make their own copy of it instead of working on it all at once?
Oh, I saw that, right. So what I suggest is that when you do this, when they open this worksheet, they make a copy for the pair that they've been assigned, so they can work on one together. Oh, look, somebody's done that already. So somebody didn't follow my instruction. This is the other thing with Google Docs, right? Those of you who use them, you have to kind of make a copy of the document for yourself first, and then share it with the person that you're working with. Although, I mean, I think you could have the student, personally, I would have the student work on it by themselves first. That's why I like the big room where everybody's together talking about it. Then everybody's making their own. And then if you have time, put them with their pair that they'll be with, and then have them jump into the structured academic controversy after they've had some time to do a worksheet together. So does that answer the question? That's a little confusing maybe. So I would suggest individuals have their own worksheet that they work on. Then they go into pairs and share their worksheets and come up with a strategy themselves. And then you put the pairs in rooms against each other, so that they've had time in a big group, time in their pairs, and then they do the structured academic controversy. So that means you have to have organized your breakout rooms fairly clearly from the beginning. So that's why you want to do what I forgot to do, which is make sure you have this many Zoom rooms set up. Because while they're in the big 2 breakout rooms, then you can see who they are and start moving them even while they're still not while they're still working, but you give them the warning like I gave you, and then you move them into those rooms in foursomes, and then that way you have lots of breakout rooms that are set up in advance. Yes, Matt, I see you raised your hand. Yay.
One challenge I've found with doing this type of thing, not this specifically, and I appreciate the structure you provided here, Marianne, but one challenge I've found is, especially when you pick topics that are relevant, like this, Electoral College, abortion, gun rights. I mean, a multitude of just of issues you can pick for this type of argument. One challenge I found is if somebody comes into it with a preconception, they tend to only want to use their view. And I like the way this kind of makes them do both.
Yeah.
So just an offering that.
Yeah, that the structured academic controversy thing is such a great help with really difficult topics like that, because you're forcing them to take a point of view, and you're not forcing them to have a debate about it. You're forcing them to listen to it, or to say the other side that they don't agree with. At least they're going to say those words. So that's why I love structured academic controversy. It really makes discussing difficult issues less fraught, for sure. So that I didn't even really show you these slides, but you all have all of them. And here's the way I would have done it if I'd done it better with you all today. And it did work in my classroom. I promise you, it has worked in my classroom. I've done it more than once. You have to be a little bit nimble on remaking those Zoom rooms. My classes are an hour and 15 minutes long. So I always have a break. And so what I'll do is, after I've put them in those Zoom rooms, I give them a break, and then I remake the Zoom rooms while they're on the break. So that's something we didn't have time for today. And this is me in each of those rooms, which obviously Carrie can't do, but Carol can. So if you can, give it a shot. Another thing to do is, I know somebody mentioned Teams, is to communicate through Teams with them. And so that's a way, if you don't trust that break room messenger. Like, I don't know how many of you guys feel that's a very effective thing, but when I've been in breakout rooms and the little message comes, it's so tiny that sometimes I don't see it. So that's another way to do it, is to have the message somewhere else. All right, what other questions do we have? Anything else? It looks like we're just about out of time.
I'd like to jump in, Mary Ann, since
Please,
you've
Carol.
done this particular SAC with your kids. Am I still on?
You are.
Keep losing. Okay. I want to know, can you just think back, how does it usually come out on this particular question, the Electoral College? Do you have a sense, or does it vary?
I actually don't.
Oh,
No.
okay.
And I actually don't care. Like, I don't care how it comes out. So I don't really ever keep track of that. In the moment, I get it. I have it in my head. I'm like, oh, it's so interesting. They think the Electoral College, they're convinced that it's okay. Or, oh, it's so interesting. They hate the Electoral College. But then the next time I run it, I'm like, I can't even remember what the first class said. Because for me, the point is, like Matt said, exposing them to the other point of view and watching them talk about it, and and also hearing that thing that prevents consensus.
By the way, that's the CBA, basically the intent of the CBA at the high school level.
Yeah.
Say more,
For
Matt.
civics.
What's the intent of it? Which part of what I said?
Constitutionally based argument. It's to see both sides.
Right, exactly. It's so perfect for the CBAs. Are we calling them CBAs, though, Carol? Don't we have a different name for them now?
OSPI developed assessments, but who cares? They're CBAs. No.
I see that Paul is saying this is too hard for middle school. And I have good news for you, my friend. The street law people have middle school versions of all of these. So they have both middle school and high school versions. Yay, street law. Street law is like my new favorite thing. They were sending all this great stuff. They have a very good 78 days till inauguration thing. If you're interested in presenting that, they have already put together all the lawsuits that are in front of the court right now. Go to street law if you haven't already. They are a godsend. Let's see, how do I set up norms and expectations ahead of starting this? Yeah, you have to do some time in class, making sure that the rules are clear and that you're saying, and I think revealing what Matt is talking about here, like the point here is to listen to both sides. It's not to win the argument, because there is no winning here. The winning is listening to both sides. So you have to make sure to set up those norms before you get going. Okay. Sue says you can copy link, change the edit to copy, so that forces a copy. Say more, Sue. What is that? She's gone.
If you only allow them to view. Sorry,
Yeah.
Sue.
Well, so when you copy your link, I just always throw it onto a Word document, and then you just backspace to that first slash bar, and you replace that word edit with copy. and then you use that as your link, and then they don't have a choice.
Nice.
When they click on that link, it forces them to make a copy.
What?
So because I know we all do that. We're like, okay, make a copy, but
Oh my gosh.
Can you repeat that? I was kind of half paying attention, and then I heard
Here,
forcing
let
to
me
make a
show you. I
copy.
think this is what you're saying, Sue. Tell me if I'm wrong. So here's my copy of it. So if I go up to the bar here and I go like this and I make copy like that.
If you,
oh my gosh, look at that, you guys. Now it's forced me to copy. Sue, you are my favorite person of the day. That's amazing.
Well, that's
except also, who was it? Anna, you told me that thing about putting their breakout rooms on their names. That's also a genius thing. So great. Thanks so much, guys, for sharing that.
Thank you. It's really generous of you to share your slides. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. And if anybody has questions for me, I didn't really put my email on there, but here, I'll put my email in the chat. I'm happy to chat with people who are having the same issues. And I would love to talk about HighFlex because we're about to do that too. All right, that's my email. If anybody, oopsie, I just sent it to Paula. Let me send that to everyone. There you go. Thank you all for playing. I'm sorry for the sort of glitches, but you know, it's Zoom. What are you going to do?
No, Marianne, thank you so much. This has been great.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
And Bradley, are you going to keep this room open? Was I right about that?
Yeah, I'm going to close it to run a quick meeting report for our purposes, but then I'll open it back up. Yep.
Okay,
Cool.
so we'll just all sign off at this point then, right?
Yes, I believe so. And then I'll open it right back up as soon as I run the report.
Okay.
Okay, bye, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks a lot.